Good morning. And I say morning because it's still only 5 to 12. And today we've got 6 hours of non-stop football action, 3 consecutive commentaries to enjoy. And it all starts with the Time Weir derby kicking off in 5 minutes time at 12 o'clock. And then we've got Stoke versus Man United at 2:05, also in the Premier League. And then probably the game of the day is Chelsea versus Man City at 4 o'clock for a place in the FA Cup final. So what a day, and let's get it underway. We're just on the outside of Ellesmere Pool, quite near home at the moment, but we're going to take to the car and go for a drive around parts of beautiful West Cheshire, Helsby, Frodsham, Runcorn, Prestonbrook. It's going to be a great day, and although it is raining a bit at the moment, the rain is forecast to stop later on, so it's mild and it's a great day. Let's get it on.
Well, you've got to understand that there's going to be some fiery challenges out there.
What an atmosphere as the players come out to a sold out St James's Park. Incredible noise, incredible passion, as there always is in this fixture. And it's the second time we're derby this season, and we featured the first one back in October when we were also in the Cheshire countryside. The weather's not quite as good as it was that day. Listen to that noise. They're bitter, bitter rivals, and they're always up for this. Yeah, 2 former West Ham United people. And we're about to get this underway. Let's get in the car then.
Playing from right to left.
It's high noon. Let's get it on.
Newcastle, of course.
A sold-out 51,000 here.
And the 100.
A massive match in the northeast. It's the Time Weir derby. It's going to be a stunner.
Sunderland win a
Manchester United.
Forgive my terrible northeast accent attempt earlier.
Just when the chips are down, maybe, because it will happen.
But we are in for a great game. Just a couple of minutes in at the moment. And as for the Premier League music, played during the handshake ceremony before every top flight match, we didn't hear it at all. Probably because of the passion and noise coming from both sets of supporters. So there you are, as we go around this tight bend. I was listening out for it, but all I could hear was a noise of passion and support from both sets of supporters. I did hear that other piece of music that Newcastle always play before their home games. I don't know what it's called. Come to think about it, it might have been during the advert break that I missed it. Thank you, TalkSport, for your advert breaks. Other than that, though, you're great. And by the way, it is TalkSport that we're listening to for the entire 6 hours. It's TalkSport only today because they've got all 3 commentaries. We're just driving through Ellesmere Pool at the moment as I'm stopping to get a sandwich in town before heading on towards the area I'm going today. Oh! That was a nervy moment for Newcastle. Could have been, well, let me just get across the roundabout there. Could have well been a Sunderland chance. Otherwise, Newcastle probably edging it. We're now driving through the main street of Ellesmere Pool where all the shops are. And about halfway through the first half, after a 10-minute break where I stopped to get my sandwich. Still 0-0, but Sunderland have grown into this game recently. They're doing okay. And the deadlock's been broken in this Time Weir derby, just in the last few minutes. And the Magpies are silent. It's the Black Cats in the away end that are going potty. It's Newcastle 0, Sunderland 1. And like in October, when Newcastle took the lead at the Stadium of Light, the visitors take the lead in a second consecutive Time Weir derby. 0-1, Stefan Sessegnon. About half an hour on the clock now. Game on. A crucial goal for Sunderland in their relegation fight. Now coming off the motorway. Newcastle have come very close on 2 or 3 occasions. It's been all them since they went behind. Mino made a great save just a couple of minutes back. But just over half an hour gone, Sunderland are the team winning here. With 35 minutes gone, it's an interesting Time Weir derby. And these fixtures rarely finish 0-0, and I'm pleased to say this one won't be doing so either. Nearly 2-0 Sunderland. Great save. That was from a Sunderland corner with 5 minutes until half time. And just a minute before that, Sunderland could have scored again. They've played very well this half in their value for the lead, in my opinion. Helsby Station. That's where we are now, or at least the car park of it. So we're in the town of Helsby, near its railway station, which is just down the road there. So I'll be back in a few minutes, car. And as we approach the closing minutes of the first half, it's looking good for Sunderland. Away to their fierce. Well, here is a view of Helsby Station from the outside, with a small car park. And there's a train due in a minute, as I say, so we're just going to go over there and check it out. Well, this is what it looks like at Helsby Station, with two different railway lines diverging into one just below me. And this line on the left is the Chester-Warrington line, and there's a train due in a couple of minutes. And from this side you can see the two lines merging. The one on the left of which goes to Ellesmere Pool and only has a couple of services a day, and none on Sundays. But the one on the right is still hourly, even on Sundays, between Warrington and Chester. Manchester to North Wales, I believe. And here comes one of the trains now, heading towards Manchester, this one. And what's interesting is the other hourly service towards Chester is due near enough exactly the same time, so I'm hoping to catch two birds with one stone. So you'll see two trains at the same time and then wait an entire hour before seeing anything else. Both of them due around 1:45. By the way, Newcastle battering Sunderland, trying to get a late equaliser this first half, but it's still 1-0 for the visitors. And now it's departing. And here comes the other one, just behind it. Very, very well timed. Yeah, a couple of ominous challenges have gone in this game. I'm not even sure what's going on, I can't hear it at the moment. Right, here comes the other train. So yeah, very well timed, wasn't it? And it's a credit to Arriva for having both of them on schedule too. Very good. And there goes the second train, Chester bound. And there it goes. There were 3 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, which we've played the three of them. The half-time whistle going any second. The half-time whistle has blown at St James's Park, and it is indeed Newcastle 0, Sunderland 1. In Paul Di Canio's second game in charge of the Mackems. He's away from home and he's ahead at half-time. Last week at Chelsea, it all turned sour at the beginning of the second half and the Blues won 2-1. Hopefully he can have better luck this time and the fortunes will be favouring him. So I'm just going to sit in my car and eat my Subway sandwich that I just bought, and then drive about a mile or so from here for the second half, where I've got an interesting walk planned.
Right here on Sunday exclusive.
Well, as you can see, we're heading uphill now. All the trees there, and that big rock you can see on the top left, that is the top of Helsby Hill. Half time in the match, all the Geordies and Wearsiders getting their pies and coffees. I must say, during that first half, there were two moments where players fouled and could have easily been set off. Rose, just after Sunderland had taken the lead, I think, and then a bit later on towards the end of the first half, Taylor for Newcastle. Both of them only received yellow cards, so very sensible refereeing from, I think, Howard Webb, who's doing the match. Now as we go around this corner, just literally that path to the left, that leads up to the hill, and it's this car park to the right we're going to park now. Well, the second half will be underway any time now, as both sets of players make their way out onto the pitch. And they've got a rotten record against Newcastle with Sunderland. I think it's 1 win in 18 time we're derbies. So it's a very precious lead, and it's a very important 45 minutes coming up for them. for both teams in fact. Shola Amiobi though is being brought on for the Magpies in the second half, and he's a specialist in this fixture. He's scored something like 7 or 8 goals in time we're derbies against Sunderland. So as we're parked here at Helsby Quarry, which is down that way. That's Helsby Quarry there, and up that way is Helsby Hill. We're going to try and fit in both and have a look at them both in the next 40 minutes or so during the second half. Let's go. Welcome to Helsby Quarry. Indeed. And then if we keep crossing here, you will find several more boards with information about the history and maintenance of the local area, as well as the wildlife, as you can see there. Well, we're not going left or right here. We're going to go right and then right, if you see what I mean. So, about 5 minutes into the second half, and Newcastle have already had a corner. Sunderland had a chance. But how will this game finish? Can Newcastle turn this around? Or will Sunderland close out a famous win? It's been a while since I've won at this ground, the Black Cats. Well, that big pit down there is clear evidence of this area's quarrying past. As I go down these steps, it would have been the centre of quarrying activity 100 or so years ago. Well, I'll be honest, I don't know how long ago it was, but it used to be a quarry, that's the bottom line. Very nearly 2-0 Sunderland a minute ago. It's a nervy time. And remember, this is not an end of season fixture between two mid-table clubs. Sunderland are fighting for their lives. Their only goal difference is keeping them outside the bottom three. And Newcastle, if you excuse the pun, are not out of the woods yet. So as we walk along this network of paths and steps, we're going to continue down here. There's a stoppage though at the moment in this match. The Newcastle keeper, Tim Krul, has potentially got a serious injury. Suggestions it could be a dislocated shoulder or even a broken arm, I don't know yet. In fact, it's just been speculated it might be a collarbone. As we continue downwards. About 10 minutes into the second half now, as we continue our Premier League adventure and approach this dark tunnel. It's been about a year since I last came here, and I have to say I've noticed, just in the space of a year, I've noticed changes. As I said before, it's a well-maintained area, this. There we go, it's just a short tunnel. And out the other side, I'm going to turn around at this gate because that gate, I believe, is the end of the complex and back down to some residential areas. So this is where we're going to turn around. Here at Helsby Quarry. So we're going to go right here. Yep, Rob Elliott has come on and has done very well defending a corner. This is his first action, the second choice Newcastle keeper. Krul is off injured. Well, that's the end of Tim Krul's season, if what the commentators have been saying is anything to go by. Apparently there's a yellow helicopter just outside the ground, ready to lift anyone to hospital that needs the treatment. Newcastle on the attack, but it's defended this time. Now, we're going to go, well, if you look here, that's just leading to someone's house by the look of it. We're going to go this way. Oh yes, Yes. A chance for Newcastle here. And it's an equaliser. And I think Papi Cissé's got it. That's what Newcastle wanted. Oh no. I don't think it's been given. I'm hearing it might be offside. Well, I don't know if it is offside or not really, but it's been given as offside. There's going to be some words said. Well, yeah, there's going to be some words said if it wasn't supposed to be offside. In fact, I've just heard it probably was onside. Newcastle undone by the inaccurate officialing there. As we continue this adventure, you can see a big pit down there. As we continue our adventure through these woods, the former quarry here at Helsby. We're going to go right here. And Sunderland have a chance. They could get two and make Newcastle pay. It's been dealt with. That would have hurt if Sunderland had got a second a minute after Newcastle could have scored themselves. Some brilliant carpentry here that's been carved into this bench. That's a bear. And then there's some words down there. It says, inspired by the designs of Helsby cubs. And there's another cub. Hello, welcome to Helsby, he said. So we're going to continue down there, follow this path and eventually get back to the car park, which you can just see in the middle of the shot. And this Tyne-Wear derby is increasingly reminding me of the one I featured in October, where Newcastle were the visitors to the Stadium of Light. They took an early lead in the first half. Sunderland battered for an equaliser and eventually got their reward with 6 minutes left. The quarry wall that poster says, it's probably unstable. It's sandstone basically, and it's probably unstable, which is why a wall's been inserted there. There's just over 15 minutes left now. And another poster here with some of the geological information of this area. Well, we could go straight ahead here, but we could also go right. And guess what? We are going to go right. Newcastle still tries to get an equaliser, but it's all in the boiling pot here. And that goal that was chalked off could cost Newcastle dear. And we continue to steer and stroll our way up these steep steps. Well, there's another bench and a couple of posters over there. We are now going to head left though. And Paolo Di Canio is on course to mastermind a win for the visitors here in his second match in charge. Oh my word! Absolutely incredible! It's 2-0 Sunderland! What a moment in this match! Adam Johnson with a curler on his weaker right foot. And what a day this has turned out to be for the Black Cats. Each and every one of their fans must be going crazy in the away end. They're on cloud 9. They're in 7th heaven. And they're going to win their first match at St James's Park for a long time. Phenomenal. They're not going to be safe by a long stretch with this win, but what a crucial win in the fixture that matters most to each and every one of those fans. They've bossed this fixture in recent years, Newcastle, but not today. Absolutely sensational. Newcastle 0, Sunderland 2. Phenomenal game, with still nearly 15 minutes left. And what we'll do now is finish by turning right and walking along the boardwalk. I think only 11 or 12 minutes left now. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Newcastle fans are heading out of the ground as early as this. It's been a stunning, stunning afternoon for Sunderland. Without question, their best day of the season, their best day for many years, unless Newcastle can mount a late comeback. And we've now made it to the car park after all this. Well, with less than 10 minutes to go, there's only one team making all the noise, only one set of fans singing their hearts out, and it's the minority up in the gods behind one of the goals. So it's all uphill from here, not only for Sunderland but for us, because we're heading to the top of Hillsby Hill. So we should be up there in a few minutes. It's not that far from here. Wow. I've just heard a statistic. It's been over 50 years since Sunderland won with a clean sheet at this ground. Well, we're 10 minutes away from that being a reality here. Just, wow, brilliant. Oh! Absolutely unprecedented! It's 3-0 Sunderland at Newcastle. And David Vaughan has scored it, but not only 3-0. It's a wonder goal from 30 odd yards out. Smashed into the corner. Just surreal. This is what the Premier League is all about. And if you think I'm a bit of a mentalist reacting like that, then you should have heard the commentators on 5 Live. It really is turned out to be an extraordinary afternoon and one of the finest in Sunderland FC's history. 3-0 to the Black Cats, away on the turf of their most hated rivals, Newcastle. Wow. Wow. Newcastle 0, Sunderland 3. It is. Well, most of the home seats have been vacated, as you would expect, with just a minute or two left of normal time. And we're on course to get to the top of the hill just when the final whistle blows. Wow. If anyone says this is not the best footballing league in the world, then today is proving how wrong you are. We're almost at the top of the hill, and Newcastle are almost at the end of their misery. There's 6 minutes of stoppage time though. It's a stomach yet for them. And for Sunderland's a saver. Just where those two people are is the highest point, I think. Well, the wind is blowing and the rain is lashing down behind me, so I'm not going to stick around for too long, but just check out the views here. West Cheshire and Merseyside and the Mersey estuary. It's absolutely stunning. I had to come here at least once this season, and I'm glad that one time was today. Great view of Hillsby, which is what I'm filming, all down here. And there's the railway station where we were earlier, I believe. And over here are the sulphur works near Runcorn, and they're also against the backdrop of the River Mersey. This time on the left side, as the wind bashes against me. Indeed it does. And that tall thin object you can see on that hill, that's Frodsham Hill, which I'm going to visit next season with the football. In the meantime, let me just show you some of the fields down there. That's the railway I was just filming, and this is the M56 motorway, which eventually leads towards the edges of Hillsby again. There they are, yes. And check out these views of the oil refineries against the backdrop of the River Mersey to the right. Very windy. I'm still on my feet. Just. There they are. I'm struggling to even stand died down a little bit. And before I go off the top of this cliff, this hill, I just want to say that the 6 minutes are up and it's finished Newcastle United 0, Sunderland 3. An extraordinary game, it really is. It was. And the Sunderland fans will be celebrating all summer long. Well, on this turf as well. So I'm going to head down now and get ready for the next game, which is Stoke Man United coming up. It's 2 o'clock and Stoke City versus Manchester United at the Britannia Stadium is up next. I'm still mentally and psychologically recovering from that Sunderland showing as we begin the descent. Yeah, the wind and the rain isn't so bad now that I'm on the way down, which Stoke coming up might still be if they don't accumulate enough points. Whoa, okay, let's keep walking. And what do you know, the sun's come out despite all the weather, and that is British weather for you. Meanwhile, the players have just come out onto the pitch of the Britannia Stadium, and there it is, the Premier League music plays at the loud and proud Britannia Stadium, which means we're just a couple of minutes away from kick-off, although it's not such a loud and proud place at the moment, but it would be today if they could somehow beat United, the champions-elect. Goodbye Helsby Hill. Hello, 14:05 kick-off between Stoke and United, because we're underway, and it should be a good one. There again, in terms of the number of goals per game ratio, Britannia Stadium's amongst the worst in the division. But let's not let that hinder our excitement for it. Well, it must be nice having your own private tennis courts to enjoy. Nice gardens too. Well, we're back at the car. We're less than 3 minutes into this match, and we have a goal as early as this already. Surprisingly early goal, unsurprising team that scored it. Manchester United take another step towards the title. They're 1-0 up. And it came when Van Persie took a corner, and I don't know who scored it, but it's just been fumbled in rather scrappily from that corner. Stoke 0, United 1. As we reach the car, as I just said. Well, Stoke have never beaten United in the Premier League. In fact, it's been 30 odd years since they last beat United in the division at all. Boxing Day 1984, apparently. That's the task facing the Potters, that are in danger of cracking in this relegation fight. Especially with Sunderland winning, they've actually dropped below the Black Cats now, so it's a crucial game for them. Well, we're just outside of Frodsham now. We've crossed from Helsby to Frodsham, but we're going to turn right into this area, which is what we will duly do. Looks quite a nice place, doesn't it? Now I've just got to find some parking, so I'm going to switch the camera off now. It's this way, I think. This is called Castle Park, a nice recreational area, and we're just going to have a quick walk around for about 20 minutes and check it out during the rest of this first half, and then get back around 10 to 5 to 3 when it will be half time here. And even then we'll only be halfway through an epic 6 hours. Well, there's a car parked to the left and a country house behind them trees. Oh, and there's the ice cream wagon. Sorry, ice cream man, I haven't got any coins with me, so I can't get an ice cream off you today. Now, we're going to go up here, I think. Well, in that field over there, there are some swings and a play area. But if we look down here, there's a clearer view of the house, and also further on there are some gardens and I think a bowling green too. So there's a lot to do and a lot to enjoy here. It's goalless. No, it's not. It's 1-0 United still after 25 minutes. Well, here's a view of the map of this place. And after half an hour, it's still 1-0 United. And if it stays that way, I won't be surprised, because I never expect any classics at the Britannia Stadium. They just can't score, they can't win, and it looks pretty much the same story for Stoke, I'm afraid, today so far. Well, we're going to walk down this network of paths and basically just enjoy the scenery in the process. David De Gea in the United goal. Well, if it was a bit sunnier, he could have brought his sunbed, his deck chair, because he's had nothing to do, in all honesty. I'd say about 11 to 12 minutes left in this half. And you know, we should give United credit for scoring early on, because they allayed my fears right at the start of the match that it would finish 0-0. And of course it won't now because of that. So there is the bowling green to the right. We're going to continue over there though. And that's basically where we've just come from. Well, to be fair, United themselves haven't produced that much since their early goal. A few corners, but that's about it. The fact is, Stoke can't even string a pass together. And I would put half of my life savings on Stoke not scoring in this match now, to be honest. Especially with United's defensive form since February. I think they went 6 games without conceding a goal before they conceded those 2 in the Manchester derby Monday night. So we're gonna turn round the bend here. I'm sure it's very interesting up there, but I feel we've given you a decent scope of this place. So let's keep going. And at the moment, it's all smiles for Sir Alex's men. Well, Stoke are making a fist of it, to be fair, at the end of this first half. They've had several corners and are trying to muster up something, but there's just a lack of quality at the moment. 1987, what a great year. The year that building to the left of me was built, at least if that placard is anything to go by. So there's just a couple minutes left now, and we're going to turn left and head back to the car. The difference between these two has been a scrappy goal from a corner in the 3rd minute, which I didn't confirm it earlier, but Michael Carrick, he got the goal, he got the last touch. Well, the house has some beautiful gardens here. Not enough time to look around them, but certainly worth a quick glance at least. Well, as I predicted, the rain has cleared and it's now turning out to be a bright sunshiny day. And I can see clearly now that the rain has gone. And we're into 3 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, so it will be half time by the time I get to the car, which is just 100 or so yards away. So unless I say anything, then it is half time at 1-0. And it is half time now, by the way, and it is indeed Stoke 0, United 1. So let's get to that car. Well, this is the middle of town here in Frodsham, and we're driving through it on a gentle Sunday afternoon. Now heading out of Frodsham towards the east, and a Chinese delight, Chinese restaurant to the left there. Never been to it personally, but I'm sure it is very delicious. Well, we're just passing over the M56 here, on our way to Preston Brook. And Stoke United, the second half will resume in just a minute or two's time. The players are about to come back out at the Britannia Stadium. Well, we're now approaching Preston Brook itself as the second half begins. Well, here we are now in Preston Brook, and we're going to spend about 20 minutes here in this northern part of the Preston Brook area, and then drive to the southern part and spend a good while there. okay? 57 minutes gone, by the way, early into the second half now, still 0-0. 10 minutes gone in the second half, and it is still Stoke 0, United 1. And as much as I try, there's just a distinct lack of quality from Stoke. It is the worst attack, currently at least, with just 2 goals scored in the last 6 matches against the best defence in the last couple of months. United, who, despite conceding 2 in the derby on Monday, hadn't conceded for 6 games before that. Another attack from Stoke. Again though, another attack that is poorly executed, and it's gone wide. It's been the story of Stoke's game so far, and it looks increasingly obvious to me that it's going to finish with United keeping a clean sheet and winning it, because I don't see, in a month of Sundays, including today, which is the Sunday, I don't see Stoke scoring in this match. Well, this is the M56 motorway, and there's a pedestrian bridge which we're going to go over as United prepare to take a free kick. Another goal for the Red Devils will seal the points without question. Here it comes. I don't think it's come to anything, but I can't really hear much. Busy old afternoon on the motorway, isn't it? There we go. There we are, yes. So, over an hour gone now. Still 1-0. That free kick didn't come to much. But yeah, the big Chelsea-Man City FA Cup semi-final clash is what I'm looking forward to. It's very well poised. Both teams very strong. Both teams are missing a couple of key players too. Despite the magnitude of the game and it being Man City's last hope of making the season a success. Their only hope, really. Their second choice keeper Pantilimon is in goal and Hart is not playing. Also, City have got another notable absentee, I can't remember who it is. As for Chelsea, no Terry or Cole in defence. So it's very, very well poised. Penalty at the Britannia Stadium, and if this is dispatched, Stoke will be down and out because it's United that have won it. And he's not scored for over 2 months, but Van Persie can end his penalty drought, his goal scoring drought, with this penalty. He's going to take it in a minute. We're now near the Murder Shaw area of Runcorn, by the way. We've crossed the M56, but we'll be crossing back under it into Preston Brook in a few minutes' time. Yeah, there's a residential straight up there, but we're going to continue this way for now and then branch to the right. And here comes the penalty. Can he end that drought? He does! He smashes it into the corner. The keeper went the right way but couldn't save it. 2-0, game over. And Stoke really are in relegation trouble now. Just a point, 2-3 points above the drop zone. 3 points above Wigan, I think it is. 2 or 3 points. I think it's 3 points. But they've got 2 games in hand of the Latics. Stoke certainly in for a nervy finish this year. And they're going to need at least 1 more win to stay up. But United are 2-0 up and they've got another 3 points. Admiring some of the beautiful Cheshire countryside here. At the M56, just behind them trees. There's a chance. The reception's gone on me just at the wrong time. It didn't come. I think it's De Gea's first save of the match. Stoke could have made the final 25 minutes or so interesting, but alas not. Well, another quiet residential area. And just here, you can see all the boats docked in the marina. The boats and the barges there. There's 20 minutes to go. In fact, there's less than 20 minutes to go, and United's 3 points are already in the bag, in my opinion. So we're going to continue and stay right and go round this residential area. Well, we're just passing over the West Coast Main Line Railway here into this area, which we've been several times this season, and this is the fourth and probably the last time that we'll be passing through here this year with the football matches. 15 minutes left, and United going through the motions. That's twice now the 5 Live commentator has accidentally said, I assume accidentally said, Stoke City 0, Manchester City 2 is the score, not realising he's talking about the wrong side of Manchester. Well, I'm sure he will be corrected at some point. It's all just gone a bit flat. Both sides seem to have acknowledged the respective results, with just over 10 minutes left. Hey! Little cheer there because the TalkSport commentator finally says the right Manchester team in the context of the score of this game. So yes, it's just over 10 minutes of this match left, and we're going to turn right here and wind our way back to the car. So I don't expect to be featuring. We feature this area, whether in small part or large part, 4 times this season, and I don't expect to feature this place again until August, as we get to the main road, the more adventurous way. Back to the car as the sun keeps shining, the spring hazy sunshine, yes. Well, we're now going over the West Coast Main Line again, and finally De Gea's had to make a save, and it was a good save too, to be fair. So yes, we're going to cross that road over there, then head back to the car. In the meantime, this is the view that can be seen of the line from here. Less than 10 minutes to go now, 9 minutes. Well, with just over 5 minutes of the match left at the time, 3:45, we're now back at the car. And there we are. Oh. Excellent. So as the weather becomes even nicer, we're heading on down to South Preston Brook, to Redacre Close, which is a place I often park at where I do these treks here, and I'm going to be parking there again. I saw 27,000 as you heard there, so no problem with the attendances at Britannia, just the result. Well, we're now heading on down to the south part of Preston Brook, where we're going to park near the Tunnel Top Pub in Redacre Close, the residential street where I always park in, as this game fades out and everyone goes through the motions. Just a couple of minutes left now. We're now to 3 minutes of stoppage time, and the game is nearly over. Well, it's been over for a long time, to be fair. And then we're straight off to Wembley for Chelsea Man City, and still over 2 hours to go in this epic afternoon. Well, there's the West Coast Main Line again, and it's finished at the Britannia Stadium, by the way. 2-0 United. Very, very routinal. They've come out, they've done what they needed to do, and now we've switched to Wembley. Final build up to that game taking place, and it will be kicking off in just a couple of minutes time, so join us for the fun. The game kicking off in just a minute's time. And there's the Tunnel Top Pub. So we're going to turn right just ahead. It's 4 o'clock and they're underway at Wembley Stadium. So who will play Wigan in this year's FA Cup final? In just a couple of hours' time, we will know the answer to that. But for now though, we've got a very, very enjoyable country, canal and forest walk with this match, this direction, so let's go. Well, in the opening couple of minutes of this clash, Man City have started brightly and have had a shot that went into the side netting, but otherwise, not a great deal to tell you about just yet. Well, Man City have definitely started this game on top as they win a corner. And it very nearly turned into a goal. In fact, I'm just hearing Petr Cech's made a wonderful save to keep the scores at 0-0. And Man City will win another corner. There's a car coming. Very narrow road this. So at the moment it's the men of Roberto Mancini, whoa, that have started the best. But 0-0 after 5 or 6 minutes. And just look at that ahead. That's a Virgin Pendolino speeding through on the West Coast main line. You might have just about got a glimpse there. We're very near it. Yeah, just as we were twice earlier this season. The opening match of the season, the very first video. And then again a few weeks later when I did a bit of a running route down Preston Brook and back. So I'm going to go past the White House, along the canal and then into the woods, just as we did back then. So there's the railway. We're going to go down here though, towards that goat. And there it is, as I slowly walk past it. How cute. Good day, fella. And by the way, there's the tunnel which I showed you earlier in the season. It's a straight tunnel but a long one, and in the far distance is the other end of it. Well, after 15 minutes, Chelsea yet to register any real chances, but that early City dominance has calmed down just a little bit, and Chelsea should get back into the game soon. We knew they went 2-0 down inside 15 minutes at Old Trafford in that quarter-final in the last leg, before coming back in the second half to 2-2 and beating them in a replay at the Bridge. So don't underestimate Chelsea despite a rather sloppy start. Well, Chelsea's recent record in FA Cups is nothing short of ridiculous. This is their 12th visit to the new Wembley, which has only been open 6 years. And they've won 4 of the last 6 FA Cups, but in so many semi-finals, it's unprecedented, it really is. And they're going for another final and perhaps another FA Cup. Yeah, the consensus is whoever wins this will win the FA Cup, with most neutrals expecting Wigan to be beaten by whoever wins this, but it doesn't always work like that, does it, Arsenal? Beautiful, calm day, innocent wildlife. That's what I like to see. Yeah, what I was referring to just before was the fact that Arsenal expected to beat Birmingham in the 2011 League Cup final, but blew it, didn't they? Chesney made a late mistake and Birmingham won the cup. But they're still a great team and he's still a great player. Now, we're going to walk down this path as we continue the Magical Mystery Tour. City currently in possession, but with 17 or 18 on the clock, no goals. So now as we complete the walk up the steps, we're going to be in Woodland for the next few minutes. Good atmosphere. The Chelsea fans are the loudest at the moment. Well, after 21 minutes, it's 0-0. Man City with all the chances really, but a resolute Chelsea defence so far. A fairly impressive defensive performance from them, just as it was against United in that FA Cup replay in the last round. Ah, beautiful sunshine. That's what I like to see. But with half of the first half elapsed, Chelsea continues to be the second best team. But Rafa so far has not decided to make any changes tactically to his lineup. Will Chelsea have a free kick, which Juan Mata is about to take? And it's swung in. And Hazard took the shot, and it's actually been cleared off the line from Company. So Chelsea's first real chance there. You would say though that the pressure really is on Man City. They will be condemned to a trophyless season unless they win this tie. Although they have got Champions League football virtually guaranteed for next season. Chelsea still battling for Champions League for next year. But even if they lose this tie, they will still have the full back of the Europa League, of which they are in the semi-finals of that. And I think there's going to be a booking here for a Man City player. Ramirez has been fouled as we reach 22. As I try and open this gate with one arm, which I manage. And we're just going to walk through those tunnels basically to the other side, as we do when we visit this place. Timed pretty well. Although you can't see anything because it's on the other side. Oh well. And there is the field. So nearly half an hour gone. It remains 0-0. And I don't know what's happened with that free kick, if it's been taken or not. But we're just going to walk up here a few yards, enjoy the views and then turn back. Well, we've walked about halfway up this dirt path. So we're now going to stop and enjoy the views as the sun continues to shine on a beautiful day. And by the way, this is definitely Chelsea's first spell of dominance in the match. Denver Bar was nearly away a few minutes ago. And a great view of the West Coast main line. And beyond that, some beautiful Cheshire countryside. It's Chelsea in the attack. And Chelsea denied what sounded like a blatant free kick. And City now on the counter-attack. Wonderful day, isn't it? And it's a beautiful day. You know, I always had faith that the weather would improve this afternoon. You know why? Because the weather forecast said so. Well, we've just made it to the top of the hill, and that's high enough for me. So what we're going to do is, we're going to rove the camera and show you the beautiful views of the countryside. Yes, I filmed from this same spot in August when it was summer. It's spring now. It doesn't look quite as stunning in the spring than in the summer, but it still looks great. And I will come here on the opening Sunday of next season, only 4 months from now, by the way, as I traditionally do always come here on that first Sunday, so that's the plan at least. Beautiful, isn't it? Deadlock broken in the FA Cup semi-final, and overall they've been the better team and they've now taken the lead. It is Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Petr finally beaten. I'm not sure who scored it, it might have been Yaya Toure. The point is, it is Man City 1, Chelsea 0, and the holders have got work to do if they're going to stay in this cup. 35 minutes gone, game on. Well, we're now starting the descent down this path, and with 6 or 7 minutes left until the break, Manchester City, the 2011 holders, are 1-0 up against Chelsea, the 2007, 2009, 2010 and 2012 champions, and the defending champions of this competition, as the wind picks up. And there's a Virgin Pendolino pacing through the countryside. Well cool on our way down. And here comes the train. And there it goes, heading towards Liverpool. Well cool, halfway down the path. Well, we are now beginning our return trip, but I will be back here in August. There's just a few minutes left until half time, and City have missed a glorious chance to go 2 up. Chelsea themselves, though, have come close to an equaliser as well. Not only has it broken the deadlock, but it has also fired both teams. Oh, something's coming over us here. You can hear it, can't you? Very well timed. Yeah, that's the Pendolino from London to Liverpool. So we're going to head through this gate and then continue to head back. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, just a couple minutes left of the first half. And City looking good at the moment, but there's still more than 45 minutes left against the team that have become the kings of Wembley. It's virtually their second home, isn't it? Well, we're approaching the end of the 45 minutes and Man City still 1-0 up and looking the more likely to add to that lead as opposed to a Chelsea equaliser, just as it stands. So as we enter the woods, not long left now in this first 45. And I would say that City probably deserve that lead, to be fair, because they have created the more chances and been the more lively in this. Well, the spring shoots are really starting to bloom now. As the weather warms up, the leaves are starting to come out to play. It's a great sign that summer is not far away now. Well, we're into stoppage time. I didn't hear about how many minutes there are, but it could have so easily been 2-0 City. Company just sliding wide from 6 yards out or so. But if Chelsea can just get to half time with a 1-goal deficit, then they're riding this for the second half. We saw what they did at Old Trafford when they were 2 down. They're certainly not out of this. It's half time at Wembley, and Man City are the team that hold the advantage. As I go down these steps again, join me for the second half. It's a bit of a jungle down here. And there we are, back to the canal. We're not going that way. I might consider going that way in a future day trip, but we will be heading back here for now. So I've just seen a couple of intercity trains passing, and now the second half is underway. The players have just come out the tunnel and it's just kicked off. So 45 minutes away from the final for Man City as it stands. But what will happen in the second half? We're about to find out. Goal right at the beginning of the second half, and it's a nightmare for Chelsea because Man City are 2-0 up and Aguero's got it. Perfect timing for them though. And now they really are 1 foot away from the final of the FA Cup and could be winning it for a second time in 3 years. Chelsea have got a lot of work to do now. It's 2-0 City with over 40 minutes of the second half still left. What a moment. What an explosive start to the second half. Well, this afternoon gradually phases itself into evening. We're now heading back to the car. About 55 minutes on the clock, and Manchester City are nearly there, but complacency could be the death of them. They have to see this through now. St George's Cross and the Tunnel Top pub. So an hour gone, and we'll be back at the car in a few minutes. City still in control, and we're now back at the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive home, and if anything happens in the remaining 25 minutes, I will of course let you know. Ooh. But for now, we're off. Let's get TalkSport on.
Gamble.
Let's go.
Chelsea back into the game.
Chelsea have scored.
Came on, made a
About half of the second half left, and within 30 seconds of Fernando Torres being brought on, replacing John Owen Mikel, Demba Ba makes us an FA Cup tie again. He defeated Manchester United with that wonderful goal, and he's given Chelsea hope. It's 2-1 to City now. Hold on to your hats, people. It's not over yet.
On to Oscar once more.
Still 2-1 to Man City with 15 minutes to go, but it's nearly all Chelsea. Pantilimon made a wonder save from the goal scorer, Demba Ba, and Chelsea had another chance where they almost scored. So, right in the bottom for 15 minutes to go, a thrilling FA Cup tie. It's all over at Wembley, and Manchester City are off to their second FA Cup final in 3 years, where they will play Wigan Athletic after knocking out the holders Chelsea 2-1, surviving a late onslaught from the defending champions. I got home just before the end of the match when it went into stoppage time, and I stayed in the car and listened to the remaining minutes. And that was about half an hour ago. It's all finished now, and Chelsea will have to just pick themselves up. But Man City can look forward to a return to Wembley next month. A great FA Cup tie with 3 goals, but City win this one, and Mancini might end with a trophy this season after all. So, that concludes a great weekend. And join me next week, where the Premier League run-in continues. We're right into the thick of the run-in now, just a few weeks left of the season. And it continues next week. I need to lie down after 6 hours non-stop today. Goodbye now.